Ladies and gentlemen, Falls of Clyde is gone. And I'm really mad about it. It's great. It's wonderful. Everything's wonderful. We're just all here living life to the fullest, aren't we? You know, other than the fact that a ship that's for 100 years old is deliberately sunk off the coast of Hawaii. Far off the coast of Hawaii. A deep water site. Oh, yeah. I should probably mention that part. She was towed 25 miles off of the coast of Hawaii and sunk at a deep water site on Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. So just last week. And yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. And I have new information about this that makes it all the more infuriating regarding Hawaii and their friggin' attitude. Because, frankly, okay, look. Falls of Clyde was not in good condition. And getting her back into a state that was remotely acceptable was going to take a lot. But there were a lot of people trying to do that exact thing. And based on my understanding of things, all Hawaii wanted was for her to be out of there. Now you might be saying, okay, so the problem was caused to getting her removed. Yeah, see, here's the thing about that. As you recall from my initial video about the Falls of Clyde issue, if you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, go see it. Except don't bother signing the petition, because there's no ship to save anymore, because she sank in really deep water. Should probably mention that. She sank in really, really, really deep water. Some people in my Discord server even mentioned the idea of raising her. That's adorable. But no, she was in such bad condition that the pressure alone, I don't think there's anything left to raise. Honestly, she's gone, guys, and I'm upset, as are many people. But what makes this more infuriating is the fact that it would have been actually very easy to remove her from the harbor without actually sinking her, or at least letting her sink on her own terms, because her making the journey over to Scotland, because that was the idea, bring her back to Scotland and restore her there, because Hawaii doesn't want her anymore. Fine. Getting her there was gonna be a questionable task, but at least if at least if she sank in transit, at least you tried. Like, that would be sad, but it wouldn't be infuriating, because at least you were trying, and she was in bad shape, we knew that, and it was one of those things, But you didn't even give her the chance. And a Norwegian firm, which operates heavy lift ships, offered to transport her back to Scotland for free. They were going to do it as a nice gesture. But the harbor threw a hissy fit over it because of insurance costs and other conditions involving the deal. There's a whole bunch of bureaucratic nonsense. Basically, it sounds like the harbor was just being difficult, as was the Hawaii Department of Transportation, or HDOT. So the Norwegian idea was out, but then an American firm also won the contract to remove her, and also offered to transport her back to Scotland, also pro bono. So that's two different firms that said, hey, we recognize the historical value of this ship, and we are willing to bring her back to Scotland, where she was built, for free. We won't charge you for it. And that's a really nice thing to do. But that deal again fell flat. And then the contract went to a different company who just didn't care, and they towed her out to sea and sank her. And remember, deep water site, she's gone. So she's not even an artificial reef. Because, okay, most of us are pretty upset about what's going to happen to SS United States, and that's fair. But at least there, she's going to be readily accessible for diving purposes. I don't like that's what they're doing with her, but at least she'll still be present on this plane of existence, readily accessible to tourists who want to go down and examine her remains. It's not a good end, but it's better than her just being gone. Falls of Clyde was literally thrown away What is your friggin' problem? But she's gone. She went down quite smoothly, to be honest, and apparently she towed out without issue. She actually sailed quite well during her last voyage, despite her horrid condition, which is a testament to her build quality. As far as the future of this, well, there's nothing else to say. She's gone. There's nothing else we can do. What are we gonna say? We can be mad at Hawaii, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna fair. Although some of y'all on the Discord server need to chill. There were some questionable threats getting thrown around, and y'all, no, listen. I am very passionate about historical preservation, but y'all need to chill with the angry reactions and the extreme ideas and the stuff like that. I'm pretty sure most of you were just, joking. Also, don't joke about that, especially not lately. Not funny. Not what we're gonna do. Not what this is about. Not what this channel stands for. Absolutely not. Don't do that. Also, seriously, why are you the way that you are? All right, I don't like you right now. And it's upsetting. It's just upsetting. She deserved better, and she didn't get it. And that's the way it is. But I do have some good news. I actually had the pleasure of speaking briefly with David O'Neill, who was a major part of the Save Falls of Clyde campaign. He was one of the principal members of the movement, and he was upset, obviously, for this. But he has moved forward. He resigned himself that Falls of Clyde was not going to be saved a while ago. Based off of the way Hawaii was behaving. He just realized that they were beyond negotiation. For whatever reason, H. said, no, this ship must be destroyed. I won't. That Falls of Clyde. I don't know why they decided that was the way to go, but whatever. But in a bit of good news, and this has nothing to do with Falls of Clyde, but it is good for maritime preservation, Mr. O'Neill has moved on and is now part of an effort to bring home another Clyde-built ship, but a much newer one, a Type 21 frigate named HMS Ambuscade. Ambuscade was built for the Royal Navy in the 1970s and actually fought during the Falklands War, but she's older and was later sold to Pakistan, who used her and some of her sisters until she was finally decommissioned just 2 years ago. Mr. O'Neill was able to get possession of the decommissioned ship from the Pakistani government, and now he's working on efforts to bring her back home to the Clyde to be a museum ship. And let's be fair, the UK, despite being all about the Royal Navy and everything, is sorely lacking in a lot of museum ships. They kept none of their battleships, for example, at all. I mean, over here in America, we have quite a number that have been saved. But granted, saving ships has always been a lot more difficult. However, the UK might soon have one more. And that's always nice, so that's something to look forward to. A bit of good news sprinkled in on top of this horrid, wretched, horrific story about the last surviving iron-hulled, four-masted, full-rigged ship and the last surviving sail-driven oil tanker sunk in a deep water site for no reason. You know, I'm just gonna add this just at the end. I'd be a lot less angry if no one cared. Because some people have brought that up. Why doesn't anyone care about, preserving these types of things? Why doesn't anyone care? Why doesn't anyone care? A lot of people did care. A lot of people cared about Falls of Clyde. And tried to save her. 2 firms said they'd transport her home to Scotland for free. This wasn't a lack of care. This was a government department deciding no, for reasons that I fail to comprehend. Maybe there was a liability issue. Maybe the firms who were transporting her for free said that the insurance would be on the department, and they didn't want to deal with that. I don't know. I don't know the details. But people did care. And I put full blame on the government for this. I do. And in case you're thinking that you might be able to go down and see her, exactly how far down she is, it's about 12,500 feet. Literally the same depth as the Titanic is in the Atlantic. She's down that far. It's... I don't like you right now. And I don't think I'm gonna like you again for a good while, so you're just gonna stay away from me. How about that? Till next time, this is Darkness, and I bid you all a fond farewell.